In 1539, the Spanish conquistadors landed on the banks of Florida to embark on a conquest of North America. Led by Hernando de Soto, the conqueror of the Incan Empire, they intended to find gold and silver and set up the first Spanish colony north of Mexico. For almost 2 years traveling in the southeast, the conquistadors wreaked havoc among the natives, capturing or killing many of them in their path. But as they moved farther west, the native villages began to resist and fight back. Then, in 1543, the fighting escalated into an epic battle on the water.
This bayou is just a few miles east of the Mississippi River. It was in this region where the battle reached its peak. Hi, I'm Josh Bernstein, and I've come to western Mississippi to explore how the natives in this region were able to launch a sustained attack against the Spanish and effectively send them fleeing to the Gulf of Mexico.
We know this happened because a few survivors from De Soto's expedition wrote down their experiences. They're the only written accounts describing the people who drove them out. These writings tell of villages built among huge pyramid-style mounds along the banks of the Mississippi.
Who were these people, and how did they stand up to De Soto's army when the natives to the east did not?
My goal is to learn about the people who built and lived among these pyramids. My journey begins with the last occupied pyramid site in North America, located in Natchez, Mississippi. Historians believe the Natchez Mound culture began around 700 AD and lasted for over 1,000 years. To learn more about that history, I'm meeting with Greyhawk, a descendant of the Natchez Indians. It's possible his ancestors may have encountered De Soto.
I'd like to invite you in my house and maybe have a little smoke.
Okay. Greyhawk takes me inside a traditional Native American hut to smoke the friendship pipe. Grass roof huts like this one have long witnessed ceremonies of welcome and peace.
When you smoke the pipe, it's a pipe of prayer, it's a pipe of peace, and a pipe of friendship. And when our smoke comes out and it goes up to the Creator, that's our prayer going to the Creator. We can actually watch it, and then that means that if we lie to each other, we don't have to face each other, we have to face the Creator, because that's where the prayers and the words are going to.
But if we tell the truth to each other, we just enjoy the ceremony.
We just enjoy the ceremony.
Okay.
Greyhawk explains that the tobacco we're smoking is the same kind the natives smoked in the 17th century and is still considered a very sacred plant. To a Native American, it's a great sign of respect to share the friendship pipe. Had De Soto and his men approached the Natchez in peace, they would have been greeted the same way.
So now we can talk as friends.
Yes.
Why don't we start with you? Tell me about you and your people.
I'm Houma Indian, and we are people of the Mississippi Valley.
Greyhawk tells me his people don't have written accounts, but only oral traditions of their encounter with De Soto. According to that tradition, his ancestors welcomed the Spanish with open arms and kindness, completely unaware of the brutality they were to face. When they finally realized the Spaniards intended to conquer their land and disrupt their way of life, they fought back. Greyhawk says to understand how the natives defeated De Soto, I'm on the right track exploring the mounds.
Their beards grow.
What do the mounds mean to you today?
A lot of people want to talk about Columbus and to talk about the Spanish and things like that. That's where they think history starts. And these mounds are linked to a history that goes back farther than that, to show people that we were here before and we did have a culture.
So I know that there's a mound right outside. Can you actually go to it and you can tell me about it while we're standing on it?
Almost definitely. I'd like to take you out to the mound so you can see what it looks like.
Let's go.
The mounds were the focal point of the Natchez and other cultures. They were revered and are still places of ceremony today.
Wow. So here we are.
Yep, this is it, mounds.
Is it okay to actually go up the mound?
It's okay, we can go up.
Because I'm assuming that this is a sacred area.
It is. It's a very spiritual, it's a very sacred area. We usually come up here to pray, and they say that our elders tell us if we pray in our own language, the Creator knows that we're still here. So I think, it'd be a nice idea for us to pray for the Mao culture. It'll take a minute or so. It's okay.
This mound holds special meaning for Greyhawk. The natives who lived here were the last in the region to fall to the Europeans, collapsing in the 1730s at the hands of the French. To learn more of the history of the Mound people, I need to explore the roots and learn how it all began. If this was the last remaining pyramid village, I'm curious to learn which one was the first. I'm heading north, following the course of the Mississippi River to a small town called Lake Mills, Wisconsin. The town claims to have stone pyramids supposedly 5,000 years old. If that's really the case, then these would definitely be the first pyramids anywhere in the Americas.
This is Lake Mills, Wisconsin, a town which very much embraces their pyramids. The local motel, the liquor store, even the memorial in the town center all reference pyramids. Looks like I came to the right place.
Local legends claim 5,000 years ago this body of water, called Rock Lake, was dry. Standing here, I could have seen the pyramids. I've been told that the rock structures are now in the lake, and the only way to see them is to get in the water. To find the pyramid, I'm meeting Archie Eshborn. He has written a book on the Rock Lake pyramids. We'll be using his boat to explore the lake. Archie says the largest pyramid is only 120 feet long, so we'll be using modern computer technology to help us find it. The computer will display images that should clearly show the shape and size of the mound. Without it, we might never know exactly where to look.
We've got the coordinates locked into GPS, but in the meantime, we are going to employ some new side scan sonar technology in a small package. It just came out. It allows just about anyone to be able to have high-tech equipment when they're doing some kind of search.
So we're going to have a pretty good high success rate in finding it.
Oh, absolutely. I guarantee it today.
As we approach the general area, we try to match the sonar with the GPS coordinates, but there's a problem.
I think we've got a transducer problem. We'll probably want to just use this one sonar for now.
The computers seem to be giving us contradictory readings.
Pyramid hunting.
Quick trip to the site, not going to happen.
Right. It's not as planned, but when you have electronics, weather, and people, it never works out the way you want. So maybe kick back, enjoy the scenery, relax a little, get some sun.
So we're having electronic challenges. Our side scan sonar was just installed this morning, and it isn't quite working the way we would hoped it would. We're using another sonar in the front as well as just a GPS unit, and hoping that with the right coordinates and a little bit of luck, we'll get to where we need to be. See how it goes.
I'm on a mission to learn how the Native Americans of the Mississippi River Valley in the 16th century ran off the Spanish conquistadors. In Mississippi, I met with Greyhawk, a Natchez Native American descendant. He told me the mounds were the focal point of their culture and are still viewed as sacred spaces today. Now, I'm on the hunt for the oldest pyramid in North America. I'm in Lake Mills, Wisconsin with Archie Eshborn. I'm investigating a century-old legend which claims pyramids were constructed here 5,000 years ago. Today, the pyramids supposedly sit below the lake. We've been searching by boat and are having a tough time finding it. But after several hours, Archie spots a formation which he says looks promising.
So that bump is what we were looking for.
Absolutely. You can see that it's approximately the size that we've delved on before, so we think we nailed it this time, Josh.
Now I was expecting a pyramid like the Egyptian pyramids, which is this big pointy thing, and that looks more round to me.
Well, the imagery will fool you, but you're not going to get an Egyptian pyramid down here. What you're going to get is a longer truncated. When you go to the south end, you'll actually it'll look like a pyramid, and they'll be like a tent shape.
To investigate whether what we see on the sonar is really a pyramid or just a natural pile of rocks, I decide to go down for a closer look.
Archie, you don't want to come with us?
No way I'm going in that stuff.
No?
That's why we got an expert like Steve to take you down.
What do you know that I don't know?
It's just cold and dark, and I don't like it.
Cold and dark isn't a problem for me or my gear, but visibility could be a challenge. In the summer, this lake is notoriously murky. Down below, visibility quickly drops to a frustrating 5 to 10 feet. I descend 25 feet and see a huge pile of stones, what Archie calls a pyramid. Some rocks suggest organization, like they were placed here by human hands. But just looking at them, I can't really say if this formation was created by people or by Mother Nature. I decide to search for artifacts or any markings which might indicate human creation. But I find nothing. Since this is regarded by local natives to be sacred, I won't bring the rocks to the surface for closer inspection.
That was great. The surface, about the top, say 15 feet, warm, maybe 80 degrees. But once we got below, it got cold and it got dark. And then, as I approached the rocks, I don't really have a good sense of what I actually saw. I saw a lot of rocks. I saw some cool fish, but I didn't get a sense of the shape. But here I am, in the middle of a lake, and there are rock mounds below. Go figure. Now the question is, what do they mean? How do we know that what is down below the water is actually man-made and not nature-made?
Well, first we want to go to the Indian native legends and stories about what lays at the bottom of this lake. So certainly what we found corroborates these legends. The second is the geological evidence certainly points to the fact that they're not glacial in nature, but they are indeed man-made. And the third thing that we can point to, we found similar type structures throughout the Midwest. They're on dry land, this is underwater, but the structures are fairly identical.
Archie makes some interesting points, but I feel I need another opinion. So I call the Wisconsin Underwater Archaeology Association and set up a meeting with their director, Dr. Dick Boyd.
I wanted to talk because I heard some compelling but not convincing evidence.
Yes.
About these formations in the bottom of the lake being man-made. And I've heard there's a lot of controversy, and there's another side to the story, and you represent the other side.
That's correct. I believe that these are glacial structures. We are in an area where the glacier 13,000 years ago deposited all kinds of strange rock structures and formations around the shores as well as in the lake.
How is it, though, that a glacier can make that kind of structure?
It would usually be produced within the glacier itself.
Dick explains that when a glacier has a crack in the ice, water runs down and carves a bell-shaped cavity inside the glacier. Over time, rocks, sand, and debris fall inside and get trapped. When the glacier melts and moves away, what's left behind is a rock pile that resembles a pyramid.
Okay, but this is a much
Dick shows me the
smaller
kind of
rock
rocks I was touching during my dive.
than these boulders, and this is
He says they're the
smaller
same
rocks
rocks
than
produced by the
those
glacier
that
that covers Wisconsin's landscape. Both Dick and Archie make interesting points to support their theories, but neither has solid evidence.
But it sounds like this mystery of whether or not the pyramids of Rock Lake were man-made or glacially made is going to remain.
Yes.
And it probably adds to the allure of this lake. But I'm looking for an uncontested, undisputed, man-made oldest pyramid. Where would I go to find the oldest pyramid?
Well, in order to do that, you're going to have to take a trip to the deep south into Louisiana and go to a place called Poverty Point.
I decide to take Dick's advice. I head back south following the Mississippi to investigate another pyramid, this one in Louisiana. For the final approach, I decide to arrive the same way many Native Americans would have, by canoe.
For thousands of years, the pyramid builders used rivers and streams like this one as their principal mode of transportation. Paddling their canoes, they traveled up and down the Mississippi River, trading along the way with other native cultures.
I've asked archaeologist T.R. Kidder of Washington University in St. Louis to meet me at the water's edge. He says he can show me America's oldest pyramid.
Give me a hand.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. There you go. Welcome
Nice to meet you.
Poverty Point. There
you.
you go.
I'll take that. So, would this place have looked like this when the natives were trading here?
Yes, it really probably would have looked a lot like this. I think most of this dead vegetation would have probably been gone, used for wood, firewood, things like that.
Sure.
But basically, yeah, it looks pretty much the same, I think.
Nice. It's thick.
It is. It's very thick, and that means that you're going to have to use the machete to get up.
Oh, we're bushwhacking, huh?
There we go. We're on our way.
Okay.
Wait on. Ready? We'll head on that way.
Cool.
Poverty Point was built above the floodplain on a natural 50-foot embankment above a tributary of the Mississippi River. I'm following in the same footsteps a trader would have, trying to avoid the alligators, cottonmouth snakes, and other potentially deadly creatures.
Oh, watch out, right here, there's a whole mess of fire ants.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to move quickly through that spot.
It's gonna get easier, I promise.
I don't doubt it. Fire ants, poison ivy, brambles. It's fun.
Tiny fire ants typically are not one of my worries, but just 30 seconds after I'm stung, I have a severe allergic reaction. An intense rash covers my body. My face swells. I give myself a shot of adrenaline to help relieve the symptoms. Instead, my condition worsens. I'm now wheezing. I have chest pains. I decide to stop my journey and race to the hospital. I need more serious medical attention to stop the toxins from ending my journey permanently. I'm in a hospital in Louisiana being treated for a severe reaction to a massive fire ant attack.
8 years.
In the field, I had difficulty breathing, nausea, and a full-body rash.
Chest pain's coming back again. Yeah.
Luckily, I had my emergency med kit with me and gave myself epinephrine and antihistamines within minutes.
That looks so good, but it was much worse before.
But it wasn't enough to reverse the reaction, so I rushed to the hospital. 4 hours after the bite, my symptoms have calmed and I'm feeling much better.
How you feeling?
According to Dr. Tucker, my quick treatment in the field saved my life.
Your reaction was really serious. It's a severe reaction. And if you hadn't taken the epinephrine in the field, you could have died from it.
Die.
Wow.
An anaphylactic shock like mine can kill in just minutes. The meds I took in the field gave me the time I needed to get to the hospital. Most people don't make it. That night, I have to stay in the hospital for observation. By morning, I'm feeling better, ready to continue my journey.
Got a clean bill of health and I'm good to go back. So now it's just a matter of finding TR and picking things up where we left off. Thanks again, everyone.
Where we left off, I was searching for when the Native Americans began building large earthen structures along the Mississippi. I traveled to Wisconsin to investigate what some claim is the oldest pyramid in America, but I found no decisive evidence. I'm now in Louisiana meeting with archaeologist T.R. Kidder, who says he can show me America's undisputed, oldest and largest pyramid.
Maybe this is kind of a mecca.
He tells me Poverty Point was constructed by Native Americans in 1700 BC.
How many people lived here?
We don't know exactly, but probably 1,000 to 3,000 permanent residents.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, at that time it was the biggest site in all of North America and possibly the biggest site in all of the Americas.
Wow, that's impressive.
I think so. I think it's probably the first American civilization when you think about it. These people had monumental architecture, they had trade and exchange, complex political organization, all the kinds of things that we think of with sort of civilized society except for writing.
Did they create objects or artifacts that archaeologists have found here?
Yeah, there are lots of them, and I've got some that I can show you in a little while when we get up to the mound.
That'd be great.
TR takes me to the largest mound, reaching over 70 feet high.
It's a big mound.
Yeah, it is. It's probably the second or third largest mound in all of North America.
At the top, TR shows me artifacts they found at the site. Many different arrow points and shards of pottery from places as far north as Wisconsin.
So how far did this travel?
I'm going to say about 200, 250 miles.
Long ways.
This one is from either Illinois or possibly Indiana, so maybe about 300, 350 miles.
Wow.
350.
Evidence like this proves this was the hub of a major trade network.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
TR tells me this was the first large Native American mound building community. Having now seen 2 earthen mounds, I asked TR how the natives actually built these massive structures.
Well, we think that they're probably doing it in several different ways. One is they're using things like digging sticks. They didn't have a lot of stone, remember, so that they're probably using wooden tools to dig the earth out. And then what they're doing is they're probably piling it together in baskets like this and hide containers. And so what you do is you carry it in, You dump it over.
TR estimates the natives built this pyramid with 20 million 50-pound baskets of dirt, carried and dumped by hand.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
It's an incredible amount of work.
So you haven't actually tried to build them out from scratch?
No, I've never done that.
Well, I got an idea. I'm going to use a little modern technology to see what it'd be like to make a mound.
To give me a sense of what moving tons of dirt actually involves, I decide to build my own earthen pyramid. But instead of one basket at a time, I'm going to use today's technology. The man in charge of these machines is Charles Poole, and he's happy to help me on my quest.
So if I want to build a mound right here in the middle, that's the machine I'd want to use?
That's the machine you'd use modern days, yes.
And it's okay with you if I do it?
Yes.
And I can drive?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you load me up?
All right, here's your hard hat,
Okay.
your safety vest,
Okay.
and a little communication.
Great. Damn. That thing is huge. Let's see. Get this thing on. Look at this wheel. Huge. It's this big. Let's see how it goes.
Charles has given me the keys to a 32-ton, 485-horsepower Tonka toy, one huge earth-moving machine. Within seconds, I'm learning how to fill the pan in back.
It's filling it up.
The machine literally scrapes dirt off the ground, which I trap using the pan's lip.
Open your lip all the way up so the dirt can come out.
To dump the dirt, I push the back of the pan forward. This is called crowding.
That's good. Now hit your crowd, Josh. Crowd it out. Crowd the dirt out, man.
Come on, drop my load.
One pan load drops over 31 cubic yards of earth.
Lower your pan.
To a mound builder, that would be close to 1,800 50-pound baskets of dirt. It takes a while, but gradually, the mound begins to take shape.
So I'm taking a break and letting the pros do it. But let me tell you what it feels like when you're in there. You've got this huge machine, just this massive machine and this tremendous load of dirt. While you're trying to empty it, you've got to be careful of how that load is managed. If you push it out too fast, you'll get stuck. Too slow, and it drags out too long. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. These guys impress me. But what also impresses me is just how quickly this works. The mound builders had nothing going on like this. It was one basket at a time. But my goal here is to see how quickly we can move massive amounts of earth to make our own mound.
We don't finish until after dark. It's amazing to think, after all this work, using today's largest machinery, we didn't even come close to the achievements of the mound builders.
Well, you weren't kidding. We ran out of light. But that was great.
Yes.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Man, this thing moves a lot of earth.
Yes, now I guess we can appreciate what the Indians did back years ago trying to build their mounds, huh?
Just how hard it is. I mean, how big is this mound? How tall is it, you think?
10 foot tall and probably 100 foot long.
For the natives to have built a mound this large, it would have taken over 85,000 baskets of dirt. To build a 70-foot tall mound like Poverty Point with these machines, Charles estimates it would have taken almost a month.
This definitely gives me a sense of just how much work went into building these mounds.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
In 1539, the Spanish conquistadors' attempt to colonize America failed. I'm on a quest to find out why. I've been told the answers lie in the Native American mounds near the Mississippi River. During my investigation, I found the Native American mound building culture began 3,000 years before the arrival of the Spanish. Eventually, they evolved into a large and powerful empire archaeologists today call the Mississippians. My goal now is to learn why the mounds were built and how they relate to the Spanish. The answer may be at the capital of the Mississippian Empire, Cahokia, near St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Cahokia. It was the New York City of its time, the very center of the Mississippian Empire. And the best way to see it all is from the sky.
To get there, I called my good friends Bubba Peters and Eric DeFore.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Josh.
Bubba, good to see you again.
man.
Eric,
Good morning.
great to see you.
I'm going to fly a powered paraglider. Basically a parachute with an 80-pound engine and propeller strapped to my back.
Radio check, can you hear me? Now better?
Yeah, that's good.
Can you hear yourself also?
I got it. Perfect.
The weather conditions need to be absolutely perfect to fly. Today, conditions are almost too nice.
Warming up solid now.
We have no wind, which can make it difficult to take off.
Okay, step back now. Step back, you're good? Yes. Power, 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 power. Go now, go, go, go. Keep going, stop.
I didn't keep running.
Too much running, not enough running. That's okay.
There's no wind, which means I have to run a little bit on that one. I stopped running.
I'm going to give it another shot. And this time, I'm not going to stop running until the parachute pulls me from the ground.
Bring it up. Use your power. Power, 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 power. Go, 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 go.
Could have used more wind, but the wind is not there. So that's pretty good for Josh to be able to do that. Because he's a young pilot. For an experienced pilot, it's not much of a problem, but it's very difficult conditions.
Woo! Now that I'm up, I can take the time to explore the site from above.
This is great. I can see all the mountains really well from up here.
Looking at Cahokia from the sky helps me put its size into perspective. The mounds were built on roughly 4,000 acres of land. They vary in shape and height. Flying over the largest, I can't help but wonder how much work went into building it.
I'm at 175 feet right now. That mountain's pretty darn high.
The Cahokia Mississippians must have been capable of a tremendous amount of organization and determination to build a city of this size.
Come back left. Come back again into the wind. Very good. Don't move. Okay, shut it off. Light, right, and hold. Light. Very light. Wait. Perfect. Wait. Don't move. Full brake.
Woohoo!
Go away.
That was a trip, man. That was a trip. Not sure where Bubba is, but there's this big mound, which is beautiful from above. And then there's a bunch. There's this one here, which we can see, and there's some on the other side. There's a lot of different heights, a lot of different sizes. Great from above, but from down here, my question now is, what does it all mean? That's what I gotta find out.
I'm meeting with John Kelly, an archaeologist at Washington University in St. Louis, to learn if the descendants of the people who lived here could have had the ability to defeat DeSoto in the 16th century.
There are over 100.
He tells me Cahokia reached its peak in 1100 AD, with a population of over 50,000 residents. It was the largest Native American site in North America. The site has hundreds of mounds, each reflecting the status of the person who lived on top. Rank was expressed by the location and the size of the mound.
This is the central plaza, correct?
Correct.
Is there a relationship between the people who had these mounds and their location on the plaza?
Yeah, these are the people that had the highest status within the community, either in terms of their religious position or their social position.
And the closer they were to this plaza, the more important they were.
Exactly. You said you had built a mound at Poverty Point with machines?
I had some help, yeah.
You had some help. Well, we're going to let you try the way they did it in the past with this 50-pound basket of earth. And I'm going to help you load it up, and you're going to go up to the top.
Go up to the top.
John has chosen 3 different mounds for me to climb. He says each mound has a different story.
You'll grab the strap.
Yep.
Pull that over your shoulder, around
The
your
first
shoulders.
mound is right on the
You
plaza.
all set?
Yeah.
I'll see you at the top.
Okay.
John says the basket I'm carrying is almost identical to what was used by the natives. Even the rope is made from local plants.
Hello?
Hi, you made it.
I did.
Now let me grab that.
Thank you. How high? Yeah. How high is this one?
This is about 20 feet high.
20 feet. Okay, and this is one of the smaller mounds that I can see.
Yeah, this is one of the smaller ones on the Grand Plaza, and so it represents an individual that had status, but he was a much lower status in the whole pecking order of the social structure.
So the person who lived here had a lot of status, but not as much as maybe the guy over there.
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna go climb that one.
Well, let's go do it.
All right. Here we go. Number 2. All right, John. Here I come.
This mound is much bigger than the first one. The basket feels heavier with every step. I now appreciate how difficult it must have been to construct a mound of this size.
Almost there. This one's a little bit bigger.
If size means status, this mound's creator must have been pretty powerful.
Almost there.
Just a few more feet. Let me grab it.
There you
Got it?
Yes. Thank you. So this one's higher, for sure.
Yeah, it's about 40 feet high.
So twice as high as that one.
Exactly.
And huge.
Yeah,
A lot bigger.
Yeah, you got a lot of surface space on top, so you can put lots of buildings.
This meant that this person had more status than that person.
Exactly, and they had a lot more command of labor, you know, in the hundreds of people, maybe in the thousands, who knows. And the highest ranking person is straight to the northeast.
With the big mound.
The big mound, so that's 100 feet. So you ready for that challenge?
That's the one I gotta do next.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Halfway up the biggest mound, I now realize the power this person who lived on top must have had. He must have commanded a large, organized labor force to have built something this big. This is extremely challenging work. I wonder what could have motivated his men to work so hard.
Almost there. 99.
100. You made it.
I did.
Excellent. Turn around.
All right.
I'll get this off of you.
Okay.
Now you ready to go back down? Get another basket? No?
How about we sit and talk for a while?
Okay.
So, this is the Grand Poobah's, the chief's place.
Yes.
And up here
John tells me the chief had a large house as tall as 30 or 40 feet high from which he ruled his domain. There was a tall pole in the middle of the mound, which symbolized the center of their world. The mound was a political and spiritual icon. The chief was more than just a ruler. His people believed he was a descendant of the sun. The mound was a place where the villagers came to worship and to pray. Cahokia was built in fewer than 150 years. At its peak in 1100 AD, Cahokia ruled over a 50 square mile region. Its influence extended over hundreds of miles more.
Beyond the practical benefits of creating housing platforms, could the chief motivate these tens of thousands of people to do something else like warfare?
Yes, very much so, because this was all integrated in their cosmology.
Okay.
He was looked at as a warrior. Chief was able to mobilize a significant number of individuals for warfare. And we see that with the construction of the palisade that surrounds the core area of the site at about 1200 AD.
Can you show me the palisades?
Yes, let's look down here. You can see a reconstruction of the palisade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And,
The palisade surrounded the core area of the site. It stretched for more than 2 miles around the largest mound and the plaza, defending the most sacred part of the community.
What about weapons? Did they find any weapons around the area?
yes, at 1200 we see a significant increase in the number of projectiles. Even though the bow and arrow had been around for several hundred years, the importance as a weapon, both not only for hunting but also for killing people in warfare, was a significant part of what was going on, and is very closely linked to the construction of the palisade. That was for shooting at people from a distance. However, for close-in warfare, you could take the clubs such as this and use that.
Okay, here, I'll trade you.
Okay.
So this was for hand-to-hand combat. Right. So what would happen if DeSoto and his army, these conquistadors, would actually come up to the Mississippians, who are, looks like, very well fortified and very well armed? What happens?
Well, I suspect they would have been doomed.
Doomed.
With the number of people here and their ability to organize and even take on the kind of armament that the Spaniards had, I think they would have had a tough time of it.
Fortunately for the Spanish, the conquistadors actually arrived 200 years after the decline of Cahokia. However, the descendants of Cahokia still possessed a large population, competent chiefs, and the means to conduct war. So how was it possible that De Soto lasted so long after he reached the Mississippi Valley? What gave the Spanish the upper hand, if only temporarily? I'm traveling through the Mississippi River Valley, exploring the culture of the Mississippian Empire and how they ran off the Spanish conquistadors in 1543. On my journey, I've learned that Native Americans have been building pyramids, or mounds, for thousands of years. One of them, Cahokia, lay at the heart of a metropolis of 50,000 residents. Until its collapse in the 14th century, it was a large empire, as complex as any medieval European city-state. But by the time Hernando de Soto and the Spanish conquistadors arrived, the power of the Mississippians was greatly reduced. Still, they were a force to be reckoned with. After seeing their amazing achievements, I'm curious to learn how the Native American weapons compare to the Spaniard stock of arms. Was technology the reason the natives didn't immediately wipe out the Spanish? I'm now at Parkin Archaeological Site in Arkansas, where Jeff Mitchum has agreed to help me solve this puzzle. First, he has me shoot a 16th century Spanish firearm called an arquebus.
Wow. I bet that would intimidate the natives, huh?
It was very effective in scaring the Indians, but the problem was that it took so long to load that they found that actually they weren't of use in a pitched battle.
The Spanish didn't just bring guns. They also had many other weapons never seen by the natives, like steel swords, crossbows,
which shot these arrows that are
and most importantly, horses. The horse was the most powerful psychological weapon in the Spanish arsenal. It was alien to the natives. They didn't know how to fight against the large beasts. Their natural reaction was to run, giving the lancer a perfect target. If the horse was the Spaniards' key weapon, I'm curious to learn, what did the natives have?
The primary weapon was the bow and arrow. Many of their bows were made of a type of wood called bowdark. It's a very strong wood and it's very good for use in bows.
So that's the bow. What about the arrows?
The arrows are usually made of cane and they're tipped with stone tips, and then they're of course fletched with feathers. And these were very accurate. They had quite a distance on them and also a lot of power.
What about armor? If the Spanish have metal to make weapons, couldn't they also have made armor that would withstand the bow and arrow?
Yes, and a lot of the members of the De Soto expedition, when they first arrived, they had chain mail. But they quickly found out that the chain mail had several disadvantages.
Jeff has set up a weapons test so I can see how effective the chainmail was against the native arrows.
Wow. But this is interesting that it actually broke through the chainmail. I wasn't expecting that.
That obviously demonstrates that the chainmail would not be effective against the Mississippian arrows.
And why is that? Is that because chainmail was designed for other uses?
Yeah, it was primarily made for protecting against sword blows. This would actually help absorb a lot of the shock and keep you from getting cut.
But the direct impact of an arrow would just pierce the armor.
Absolutely.
So realizing this, did the Spanish do anything?
Many of them had quilted armor that they'd actually picked up in Mexico and brought with them, and they knew from experience that that would protect against arrows.
Do you have any quilted armor?
Yes, we do, and we can experiment with some of that as well.
Let's reset and give it a shot.
Got him.
2 good belly shots again. Wow, very interesting.
So your second one made it through a little bit.
Yeah, but it didn't get through this one.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be lethal.
So it'd just be like a good hit in the stomach. That hurt.
It's a lot better than having it go all the way through you.
Yeah.
This test proves that the Mississippians' most powerful weapon wasn't effective against the Spanish armor, and demonstrates the Spanish had the upper hand in both technology and psychology. So how did the natives, despite being inferior in almost all aspects of warfare, finally fend off the Spanish? Jeff takes me to a nearby river. He explains in the third year of the expedition, the conquistadors' leader, Hernando de Soto, died of a fever and was dumped into the river. After his death, the members of his expedition, demoralized by 3 years of constant battle with the natives and never having found gold or silver, made the decision to leave and head back to Mexico. They melted down their firearms to use as nails and built boats that could hold as many as 50 men. They stole dugout canoes to hold the horses, which in turn were pulled behind their boats as they sailed down the Mississippi.
Once they set out on the river, they had lost any sort of military or tactical advantage that they had. And also they were really disheartened. They had given up, and their idea was just to get out by that time.
So how do the Mississippians play into this?
When the boats finally set sail down the Mississippi, there were well over 100 canoes full of warriors out there, Mississippian warriors. Some of these canoes were huge. A few of them held as many as 60 to 70 people.
The Spanish chronicles say it was an impressive spectacle. The fleet of canoes were a serious threat.
The Indians followed them and were constantly giving them barrages of arrows, 24 hours a day too, so the Spaniards couldn't rest.
The natives lined the banks of the river. If the Spaniards tried to land, they would stop them by firing a slew of arrows.
So it sounds like the conquistadors, who are cutting this swath of destruction from Florida all the way through to Arkansas, get here and they finally met their match. Here's this organized society. They have hierarchies. They're building these huge mounds. They understand warfare. And when the Spanish are at their weakest, the epic journey comes to an end.
Over the course of 3 years, the conquistadors had lost over half their men, including their leader and national hero, Hernando de Soto. It took 19 days for the surviving 300 conquistadors to reach the Gulf of Mexico. It was considered a monumental victory for the Mississippians. The mound-building culture of North America lasted for over 3,000 years. Why Cahokia collapsed is still a mystery, but theories range from drought to warfare to political instability. Today, all that remains of this spectacular, complex society are these sedate, grass-covered pyramids. Silent testaments to a Native American empire that once ruled America's own backyard.